Okay, so we're going to try some complex operations here. I don't know why, but for some reason, I love these types of problems. Uh, it's interesting to see how a complex number can kind of go back and forth between being real and being imaginary. But I would first attack this problem in steps. Okay, so first I'm going to pay attention to this product right here. And in the same line of work, I will expand this one. But I'm going to go very slowly, step by step. Of course, some of you have gained a certain amount of fluency with this, so you can skip steps where you feel you can, and be careful in steps where you think you should be. So this first one right here is going to be, let's see, 2 times 3. Right, 2 times 3, and then 2 times the 4i, so we've got 6 plus 8i, and then let's worry about the other. So negative I times the 3 is going to give us negative 3i. And then this negative I times the 4i is going to become negative 4i squared. Of course, that is going to end up being a real term because I squared is equal to negative 1. We'll do that in a second. And then over here, we want to remember that we are going to expand this square out. And, number one rule, do not simply square the two terms and call it a day, right? There is always an interaction term in the middle, especially when we're multiplying the same thing by the same thing. Anywho, let's get back. Simplify 6 plus 5i, and then minus 4 times negative 1. Okay, now I know that step may seem like, oh, we're only taking a baby step. But big common mistake is that students will try and get that sign right away. Let your multiplication do the work for you. Okay? Now over here, I'm going to keep one big set of parentheses for this entire product because we've got a minus sign over here. So that minus, now down here, that's going to apply to everything in those parentheses. Okay? So let's give this a shot. So 3 times 3 gives us 9. 3 times the 2i gives us 6i. Now on to 2i times 3 is another 6i. And then plus 4i squared. Okay, now this negative 4 times negative 1 is going to turn into a plus 4, right? Because a negative times a negative. So we're thinking, oh, I'm already thinking one step ahead. This is going to be plus 4, and when we add that with the 4, we get 10 plus 5i. Now, let's simplify this set of parentheses here. Minus 9 plus 12i, and then plus 4 times the negative 1. And you see, I think it's interesting to note the similarities and differences here. This was negative 4 times I squared, and over here we've got plus 4 times I squared. So, interesting to see how they look very, very similar, but one's going to turn out positive, one's going to turn out negative. So we've got 10 plus 5i minus, and let's see if we can do a little simplifying here. 9 minus 4 is going to be 5 plus 12i. Okay, and now we've just got a binomial minus a binomial. I guess complex number minus complex number. Let's see. How am I doing with that logo? Is that logo in my way? Oh, yes, it is. Okay, I'm going to just go right over to the last page here. And we have 10 plus 5i, and then minus 5 plus 12i. Notice I put those parentheses back, right? We want that value right there. So 10 plus 5i minus 5 minus 12i. The real parts combine to 5, and then the imaginary parts Those combine to a negative 7i. Okay. In the next video, we're going to raise I to powers other than 2 and then simplify. Okay?